Hi sweeties, how are you all doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you so much, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos. You are the bomb. So guys, I am going to put the picture, like a picture of what started this fight over here, right? So you all can read it. And this is actually from the black girl fallout train that started, and black women started supporting one another, and black white women were not having it, kind of were so mad. And so somebody picked up this question and started reacting to it, and this actually started another problem, and black people are not even finding it funny. And at the same, not just only black people, white people too, and they are really clapping back like massively. I mean, you need to set the clap back. So I was like, I am definitely bringing this here so we all can talk about it. With that being said, let's get into this video, and please stay glued to your screen so you can get all the info that you need to. Let's get into it.
What's going on, y'all? Here we go again. Have a look at this, and I'll be right back.
I don't know why everybody's coming after me. I never said racism doesn't exist. Never said it. Never said it. But just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are. So you've got a few bad apples in the bunch that ruin it for everybody. And I know people on both sides of that color line have experienced that. But it only seems to want to apply when it's on the other side. I have never treated anybody that way. I have black friends who I respect and love very deeply. I'm not saying you won't have to work harder, and I'm not saying that it doesn't still exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't still some unreasonable hurdles that you're going to have to jump over. What I'm saying is show them, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be on your side, and y'all are coming after me. I can't win. I cannot win. I'm not a racist. Okay? I don't know what else to do.
Now, I could spend a whole lot of time trying to go point by point and letting you know the parts of that video that I feel are problematic, especially coming from an ally. But I'm not going to do that because so many other creators already have. And I'm talking about black, white, male, female, you name it. But what I'd like to do is show you another clip. And I want you just to understand, this is why black people and other people of color sometimes even have issues with individuals who claim to be allies. It's like, who do I trust? Who do I not trust? It's an age-old question and fear that black people have because of things like this. So just watch this.
I think it goes without saying that it's obvious that having black friends don't make you black. Clearly. However, I do have black friends who are extremely intelligent and wonderful people and whom I love very much. And I'm not sure what trend you're talking about. Is being black trendy now? Is that what this is? Because it might be considered a little racist. Let us have something. Well, you've got affirmative action. You've got all black colleges, all black scholarships. You've got the BET channel. You've got the BET awards. And you've got an entire month dedicated to celebrating your history and culture. I'm not real sure what else it is that you're looking for, because that sounds to me like quite a few somethings.
So, I'm not really, for those of you who have formed one opinion in the beginning, what is it now? And if you still try to defend it, even after hearing the second video, then, that says everything that we need to know. Share your thoughts. It's already trending online. Let me know what you think, guys.
Can I get some fries with that shake, booby? If looks could kill you with beat and Uzi or a shotgun.
And I certainly don't think that black people should just expect racism because white people are going to stop being that way. There's plenty of people that are still going to be that way. But just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's literally what that means. Look, my fellow rice cakes, I'm going to say something out loud that you would probably prefer I kept to myself, but we are terrible at self-examination because we are obsessed with being perceived as good. We are good people with good intentions who do good things, and we know that racism is bad, so we're offended by the mere insinuation that we could be capable of dehumanizing anybody. And that line of thinking right there is why we continue to take L's left and right, because you can't confront a problem if you don't acknowledge the problem exists. Listen, you are not evil and bad because you were born white, and no reasonable person is saying that you are. What we're saying is that it is a problem if you don't acknowledge what it means to have been born white in a racist society. It is a problem if you're not willing to examine the privileges, I know we all hate that word, but the privileges, the benefits, and the means of insulation we inherit by virtue of being born white. And it's not that we can't experience other disadvantages, including some that we may share with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. We can be discriminated against on the basis of our sexuality, our gender, our physical abilities, our economic status. There are plenty of reasons why a given white person might grow up in a shitty situation. But the color of our skin has never, ever, ever, ever been one of those problems. And if you can't say that out loud, then you're being racist. White folks, we have to disabuse ourselves of this notion that to be racist is to walk around throwing out the N-word left and right. That's not what that means. Racism sleeps. Racism waits. Racism is little things that you don't even know that you're doing until somebody tells you about it after the fact. If you could always see racism from space, then we, and by we I mean white people and only white people, wouldn't have been so shocked over the last few years to discover that so many of our loved ones are big old racist bags of shit. Because one, racism is subtle, it sneaks up on you, it manifests in tiny ways, and two, we never had to interrogate those behaviors because we were insulated by racism. Listen, bigotries of all kinds often manifest unconsciously, by accident, and the only way we can catch it, the only way we can be vigilant, is to rely on other people to let us know and then to build our experience around that knowledge. If you can just get comfortable with the fact that prejudice is an inherent part of the human experience, then getting feedback about it will involve a lot fewer tears and heartbreak. In conclusion, my fellow Snowmericans, to be good is to accept your limitations and be okay with being wrong.
Oh my goodness. Really? I mean, she is so truthful. I mean, she actually took so many words out of my mouth. And I really appreciate her sincerity because, like, she did not mince words, and that is absolutely great. I love her for that. All right, let's get into the other one and then we can come back to talk about it.
I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are.
Yes, it does.
Part 4. I'm going to keep on starting these parts with that certain little soundbite because from a facetious standpoint, it makes you look like a clown. The healing of this disease does not need court jesters. And in all honesty, that's the only thing you've presented yourself to be, is a court jester. For all the cute little sayings and the bravado in your speech. To quote a fictional, cartoon TV show from a long time ago, in which the scenario was that a certain madness had overtaken society and was driving them to destroy each other. The wise man that was consulted said that the only way to fight such madness is with wisdom. People like you have shown none. And when I say people like you, I'm not referring to your skin color. I'm referring to your particular point of view. And your stance is flawed. It's lazy. It's ignorant. It masquerades as being sophisticated. It's none of those things. Martin Luther King Jr., I believe, had a reason for saying, I want my children to be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Because even besides all his own failings and his angers about civil rights and whites and blacks and how we relate or don't relate to each other, he wants everyone, or wanted everyone, to be judged by the content of their character, which means you have to judge people individually. I hear none of that from your stance. Your stance is not conducive to healing. Your stance is not conducive to ending racism and bigotry based on skin color. What it is propagating that same evil, just on the other side. Part 5.
And it doesn't mean that most of us are. So you've got a few bad apples in the bunch.
This video is a perfect example of why the moralization of actions is actually really harmful for anti-racism work. A lot of white people struggle with this idea when they first get started in their anti-racism journey is because we live in a society that moralizes our actions or our deeds. So you have good deeds that you do that make you a good person, and you do bad deeds and that makes you a bad person. But that's not really how the world works. And we use phrases like impact over intention, but that doesn't mean that we completely throw out the intention behind things. We have to start separating this idea that who we are is intrinsically tied to the small actions that we perform every day. We live in a racist society, so people are going to do racist things that they may not mean to, but we can't ever see those things, or we can't address them if you refuse to believe that you could do it because you're a good person.
Right, like, that's the end, like the end of the stitches. And I want to add something, from the beginning, when there's like, there was the place the woman said, like, what are we talking about? Like, black people, we have this, like, we celebrate ourselves, and there are black universities and all that. And now let me make a point from that point she made. She said something like black school, like black university and all that. And the truth, why are there black universities in the United States is because white people do not admit black people into their own university, and then they decided to, like, and then eventually comes a black university. So if you are saying something, do not say something you are not very sure of. All right, there is a reason why there are black universities, and that is the reason that I have given you. So don't come out and say what you are not sure of. And like the other white lady that made a whole lot of sense, she said that you cannot solve a problem if you do not acknowledge the problem. For you to solve a problem, you must acknowledge that this is a problem, and now there is need for this problem to be solved. Aside from that, you all are just beating around the bush and not making any sense. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So for we to solve this problem of racism and all that, I want you all to know that there is racism. But if you refuse to acknowledge the fact that there is racism, it means we cannot solve this problem. This is where I'm going to end this video. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I really appreciate you all for always coming back to watch my videos. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.